Well, hello there, and welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. This is a live call-in show. I'm Debbie Georgiani with Jerry Usher, and as we've been saying for 7+ years now, you are the key person. We need you. We want you. We definitely expect you to call in. And Jerry, another great topic today, and I'm super excited to dive right in and learn something and grow a little and get closer to God.
Yeah, looking forward to it. We're going to be talking about, if I have this right, intentionality in our Mass attendance and things we do with our faith. For example, when we go to a game of our favorite football team, we put on the colors, we put on our big puffy number 1 finger, and we get all decked out, and we're preparing for hours before the game, and we tailgate and all that stuff. All of that is great, but obviously we don't put on puffy fingers when we go to Mass. But say when it's a certain season of the year, do we think about maybe wearing purple occasionally during Advent or Lent?
Or red at Pentecost?
Red at Pentecost, red on certain martyrs' feast days, things like this. So we want to hear from our listeners about how you intentionally prepare for and attend and participate in Mass and other church activities. It's 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986.
That was perfectly stated, Jerry. And this show topic came to us after Pentecost when Jerry and I had shared, I hope you're going to wear red this weekend. And people actually contacted us and they said, thank you for reminding us. And we thought, we should do a show on this. There are a lot of people that have prayer corners and prayer tables in their homes. And I know that the Religious Education Formation Program, Catechesis of the Good Shepherd, actually encourages that, and to actually drape it with the liturgical colors. They even say if you don't have room in your home to have a prayer section, put the liturgical colors on your dining room table, like a runner in the center of the table. So it reminds you what part of the liturgical year you are in and you are entering into, and so you can be very conscious of that and also aware that it's an important time for our spiritual development. So that's what we're asking today, getting into the spirit of the faith. Do you do what people, Jerry's so spot on. I know a couple, and I love them dearly. They are really big football fans, and they have the hats and the what do you call them? Jerseys in football?
Jerseys,
okay.
yeah.
See how much I know about that sport. So they put on the jerseys, and they have even the little cold beverage warm that keeps them cool, those insulated things. They have that with the logo of the football team. And then they have their stickers on their cars and all sorts of things. That's taking a lot of time to get into the spirit of football. Do you take a lot of time getting into the spirit of your most precious gift, your gift of faith? Come on, you guys, weigh in on this. We want to really kind of change the world with this discussion. 833-288-3986.
Matt Kabensky is already on duty screening calls, and there are still some lines open as well. 833-288-EWTN or 3986, 833-288-3986. Now, the start of the show is always the best time for you to call in, so we do hope that you will join us on this conversation. And really, when you think about it, our faith is to be lived 24/7. A lot of us fall into the temptation, I think, of compartmentalizing our faith. And that is, we've got our faith. It may be a strong faith. Maybe we're regular Mass goers on Sundays, maybe even daily Mass once in a while, but we sort of leave it at church. But we need to have the faith expressed and lived out and celebrated joyfully in our homes all the time, and especially today when we do go to Mass. Our church was full of Pentecost. I absolutely loved it. So how you get to what we call the spirit of our faith today, and really let it permeate your entire life. 33288-3986.
I like the way you said that. Let it permeate in our entire life. Absolutely, Jerry. It's time for us to really invest ourselves 100% into our Catholic faith. Let's go all the way, folks. That's what Scripture tells us. be hot or cold, and in between, he's going to vomit you out. He's going to spit you out. What does that mean? I don't want the in-betweens. I want either give me all or give me nothing. And that's what our God expects from us. So let's give him everything, even the intention to really get into the Spirit. Very, very important topic today. Please weigh in on this. You do not have to be Catholic to call in. Maybe you are another faith denomination, and you want to say that in our church we do it this way, or the pastor requires this, or the minister requires this. Tell us. We want to learn and grow together. This is your show. Dial in. Matt Gabinski is expecting your call. He's not waiting for your call. He's expecting your call. 833-288-3986. I'm just going to tell you right up front, Marty and I do keep the liturgical colors in our home because I am Catechesis of the Good Shepherd trained. And so we learned that many, many years ago. And we do dress appropriately for the season that we're in at church and for the liturgical year. So we do that. So we wear red at Pentecost, we do the whole thing. And we get a lot of folks that actually come up to us because we color coordinate, we match, Marty and I. And so people will come up and they say, "Did you do that on purpose?" And we said, "Yes, we did."
Yeah, and I'd love to hear from anyone who is involved in the art and environment in your parish. I have gotten to know the lady in our parish who does that, and what that is that's an individual or a group of people who decorate the church for the particular liturgical season. And I was watching the gal in our parish who does this, Debbie, and when you get toward the end of Lent, and then you're in Easter, and then you're back, you're in the Easter season, then you get to ordinary time. I mean, it's just like up, down, up, down, up, down go the the different colors and decorations and all of that. But we're talking about living your faith and showing your spirit of the faith today. 833-288-3986.
I actually love, this may be a little bit off topic, but tell me what you think of this. I love when I see like firemen come in their fire, did you say firewomen? Firemen, firewomen?
Firefighters.
Okay. Firefighters. There you go. When they come in their uniform, or police officers or military come in their uniform, because it kind of reminds us that this is the church militant. Isn't that interesting, folks? Let's talk about it. 833-288-3986.
Živi istinu, živi katoličanstvo.
عيش الحقيقة، عيش الكاثوليكية.
Mabuhay sa katotohanan, isabuhay ang pagiging katoliko.
In any language, it means the same. Live truth. Live Catholic. EWTN.
This is Life Issues with Brad Mattis, president of Life Issues Institute.
There's a baby boom in the birthing center at the hospital in Liberty, Missouri. And I'm not talking about the general population. 10 labor and delivery nurses and 1 doctor are expecting babies at the same time, with the first baby due very soon. Some were quick to say something's in the water. One nurse actually brought her own supply. God did say, "Be fruitful and multiply." However, they might be a little short-staffed as these women take maternity leave. It's likely they'll bond with each other, giving helpful advice and experiencing new challenges together as their babies grow. In the days of uncertainty, it's nice to see these births. I have a plaque on my wall that reads, "A baby is God's opinion the world should go on." And I believe it's true.
Follow us on Twitter at Life Issues USA and stay informed, more informed than you've ever been.
EWTN podcasts are available on Spotify. Weekday shows from the Sunrise Morning Show through Cresta in the afternoon, plus the latest weekend programming. You can find it all at Spotify.com.
How about talking about getting into the spirit of the faith? That's what we're asking today. Do you get into the spirit? Do you really put 100% into going to Mass? We don't want to be talking about I know we can all fall into this, that it's punching a time clock, you're doing your duty, your obligation, you're being a good Catholic. Those are going through the motions. We're really talking about having that intention, that real dedication to the faith. Do you do that? Maybe you don't, and this is the first time you've ever heard this discussion happening. Call in and say, hey, I want to learn more. I want to start this weekend and be totally different. Call us, 833-288-3986. And I know, Jerry, before we get to the phones, may I please just share with our listeners EWTN News in Depth, and you can get it by email. Join a deeper conversation about the most consequential issues facing Catholics today on EWTN News in Depth with Monsi Alvarado. And you can get EWTN News in Depth delivered to your email inbox. Wow. I love that, Jerry. That's my favorite. And details on each week's show in your inbox. Go to EWTN.com/in-depth and sign up today. Folks, I love it. I love getting all the news right at the start of the day in my email inbox, and EWTN totally has us covered with all of these options. So thank you, EWTN. Jerry?
All right, again, we are talking about getting into the spirit of your faith, like wearing liturgical colors when you go to Mass. The priest does it. Of course, the priest is, I'm sure, required to do that. And some of the beautiful color changes during the year. Are you intentionally thinking about that as you prepare to go to Mass, say, in Advent or at Pentecost or some other feast or season of the year? 833-288-3986. We will check in first with Melissa in Topeka, Kansas, listening on Alexa. Hi, Melissa. Welcome.
Hey, Jerry and Debbie. How are you today?
Doing pretty well, thank you.
Awesome. Hey, first of all, happy birthday to St. John the Baptist.
Yes,
it is
amen.
Today.
Yeah.
That's part of what I do. I check my calendar. I have a calendar of saints from EWTN catalog, and I check who the saint is of the day. And what I'll do is I'll think of like a color, and I'll think maybe that was his or her favorite color. And if they didn't have one, I'll think of Mary Blue, and I'll get my journal out, and I'll write in that color. What I do when I go to Mass is sometimes I'll wear hiking boots and think I'm going up the mountain to the Holy Eucharist. And it's just a neat way between you and God and Mary that you're doing that.
Mm-hmm. Wow,
yeah.
That's amazing.
That's just my idea. Yeah.
No,
I just thought of this.
Yeah, I was taking notes. That's amazing. Have you shared this with your fellow parishioners? Because I think that is brilliant.
No, I kind of keep it private, but I do keep a journal faithfully, and I do write in cursive their names in all different vibrant colors of markers, and I collect markers, and I hope they know that. And have you ever used washi tape? Have you ever seen washi tape?
Never heard of it.
Japanese for tape. It's just thin tape is what it means. And you can get it at all these hobby shops. And what I'm doing is I'm making candles with it. And then these marker sets have these bright orange hue candle flame colors, and you can make candles in your journal.
Okay.
Wow.
Wait,
kind of fun.
I have to ask this question, Jerry. Melissa, are you like some kind of artist or something, or creative? You're a creative mind to the max.
I really do. I make rosaries as well on the side. And I just like to use my hands and work with clay a lot. And I make clay rosaries. I make the stones myself, the beads, for my rosaries. Yeah, just a fun hobby. And I mix the clay to all these different colors. And it's just something I do to honor God.
Well, I'm sure.
In my life.
I'm sure it does honor God greatly, Melissa, and you have really inspired us. I am with Debbie. I think you've got an amazing gift there in your creativity, your thinking, and the fact that you are channeling that gift and those creative talents toward your faith and toward making sure that you are consciously and intentionally living your faith. I think is fantastic. I'm with Debbie. Maybe you could make something out of this. Not necessarily a business. Maybe you could make a business out of it. But if not that, maybe just simply use it as an opportunity to inspire and perhaps build up and lift up your friends and family members and fellow parishioners. That's entirely up to you. Maybe it is something that you want to just keep between you and God in your journal.
Sure, I do my best. I try and share, you know.
Sure.
You have to find the right ones to share with as well. I've learned that in life. I've been put in my place a lot, you know. But you just deal with what is, huh?
That's right.
But I appreciate you listening and hearing my comments. I have so many ideas that I even have a bookmark I'm looking at right now in my Bible of angels. And think about it, they're magnets. And then the Magnificat. And I always mark where I'm reading in my Bible, and I think of those colors of these little angels. Mm-hmm. And they don't have mouths. It's what they're going to fly in and say to me. And they're from a dear friend. She died when she was 99 years old. Mm. She died in the nursing home of during the times of COVID and everything. Mm-hmm. I won't go into too much detail, but she got to see my artwork.
Yeah.
See, I share it with so many.
Right. Melissa, before we let you go, I just received a text message from one of our Take Two family members, and they said, you know, Melissa so casually says that she makes the stones and does the rose. Not everybody can do that, so she's very talented, and that's what we were trying to say. You are extremely creative and talented, so way to go.
Oh, thank you. And I've earned my master's in education as well. And I just, I use that a lot. And I used to work with mental health with children, and I help them as much as possible, all the kids in the neighborhood. And I'm just trying to focus on helping others. You know,
good for you.
Yeah, Melissa, before we let you go, since you worked in mental health, because we're going to be doing some shows on adolescent, you know, the depression, you know, what's going on with them and everything. Any quick words? What's happening with our youth? Is there something we should be doing right now to try and, you know, get their outlook, get their mood in a better place?
The main thing I would say is work on journaling with them. Work on their emotions. Work on them writing and drawing. Because I had some students who were way, 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 way emotionally unstable. And I would give them a journal and just blank pages, and they would just draw. And I would let them draw the Titanic and the people on there. And, you know, that attention deficit disorder is an epidemic. And these kids get down and they need routine. And I let them just draw and journal. And you would not believe their creativity. One little guy drew a fountain in Washington, D.C. at their family reunion. He pretended he was going to their family reunion at the Capitol. I'm like, oh, my goodness. The creativity is out there. They just need to, you know, be open about it and not hide it.
Yeah.
That's what the problem is. They're hiding.
They need to be given the opportunity. Yeah, right. Beautiful. Melissa, thank you so much. Godspeed to you, and you are touching so many people's lives. Thank you for doing so here on a global basis on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie on EWTN Radio. What about you, dear friends? Take Two family. Today we are talking about showing, expressing our spirit, if you will, in our faith. We made the comparison. It's not apples to apples, but so many of us put on the face makeup and the jerseys and the car window stickers and the license plate frames for our favorite sports teams. Do we do the same for our faith, especially during certain liturgical seasons of the year and feast days? Do we wear the colors? Do we have our homes, reflecting the seasons and times of the year? 833-288-3986.
I have a friend who puts the front door wreaths on their house in the liturgical colors.
Nice.
Yeah, she weaves a ribbon in between, and it's like a kind of a wicker type thing. It's really beautiful. Anyway, that's interesting. Maybe I'll start doing that. Okay, as Melissa was speaking, Melissa, if you're still listening in Kansas, several text messages came in and said, thank you so much for that great advice for the youth, and journaling is going to be coming back.
Good. Okay, let's move along to Sharon, a first-time caller in Alexandria, Virginia, listening on Guadalupe Radio Network. Hi, Sharon. Thanks for calling.
Good morning. Peace and blessings to you all.
And to you.
I am a member. Funny, I was at a doctor's appointment, and when I turned the radio on, because all I listen to is Guadalupe Radio now. I live in Washington, D.C. The young lady was speaking about Amani Temple. The priest at Amani Temple came from my church, which is St. Teresa of Avila. He was a pastor there before he was excommunicated. I wasn't there then. I've been there now since our priest, Monsignor East, is the pastor. How I celebrate the Mass is in the liturgical colors. Every morning I go to USCCB and I listen to the liturgy for the day, which is usually about 5 a.m. in the morning. And I check which colors the vestments are and the altar is on that day. And that's what I try to dress in, especially if I'm lecturing on that particular day.
Yeah, the USCCB website is a great resource because they do have, you can actually, I think you can subscribe to get a daily email from them, which gives you the Mass readings for the day, the saint of the day. And we can really, I think, help to plan our spiritual day by that means as well. A lot of other great resources. It's usccb.org. And so, Sharon, I'm glad to hear that you do that. I'm glad that you're a lector in your parish as well. That's so very important that, people step up and take part in ministries such as that to edify the people of God and bring glory to God through your reading. So congratulations.
Right. Well, and I would just like to say, Sharon, thank you so much for reminding us to go to the usccb.org and actually, make that an effort we do each and every morning. I do it maybe a couple times a week, and I'm going to step it up. So thank you for the call today and adding to this conversation. God bless you.
Thank you. Another thing I wanted to add, on YouTube, you can find great things on YouTube, and I do everything religious on YouTube. In fact, I put it on my TV in the living room, and I turn it on to all the mysteries of the Rosary, and it plays for 4 hours. So it's in my house while I'm sleeping. But they have something called Word on Fire, and it's the Liturgy of the Hours. It's a breviary without the ribbon. It's the Word on Fire ministry, and its first book is coming out in July. They sent it out in June. It's $7 to subscribe to it. I have it in my hand now. It's a wonderful resource. And also, I want you all please out there to pray for me on the 10th of July. I've been in formation for lay Third Order Carmelite. And on July the 10th, Agnes and I will be received into Carmel. So that's
Beautiful.
my calling and my vocation.
That is. Yeah, Sharon, that is a vocation as a lay person to be connected with a religious order like that. And many of them do have what are called third orders. And so you will be installed as a third order Carmelite. You said on July 10th. Was that the day you said it is?
Yes, at Whitefriars Hall in D.C.
Okay. Well, we've added you to our prayer book, and I think you gave the name, did you say Agnes, somebody else who's going to be with you in that?
Agnes is going with me.
Agnes, okay, great.
Doing
Agnes.
our pilgrimage. And I want to ask you to do this prayer. We've been in a 13-day, we've been in a 9-week catechesis at Holy Name Church with the neo-catechumens. And this weekend, we're going on a retreat into the mountains. We're going to do a shut-in from Friday to Sunday. Those of us that have participated, and the priests and the seminarians, I would like you to pray for our weekend retreat.
Yes.
Also, I want you to pray for Father James Bork. He's from Assumption, the Basilica of the Immaculate Assumption in Baltimore, Maryland. He's leaving his rector from the Basilica to be a contemplative Carmelite.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's a big move. Okay. Yeah. I put everything, the retreat and everything in the prayer book. So we will start and keep having you covered in prayer, Sharon. Okay?
Thank you. And you all as well. And you're doing a wonderful job.
Oh, thank you. God bless you, Sharon. We appreciate that so much. Thanks for being a first-time caller. I once had a spiritual director who went from being a diocesan priest, pastor in a parish, to being a Trappist monk. And he was my spiritual director. And you talk about a radical move, but God does call some men, to the priesthood, maybe in more of an active ministry type at a parish, and then through their prayer and discernment, they feel that call to go into the contemplative life. And it takes all, Martha and Mary. The church needs both.
Isn't, would you know this, isn't John Michael Talbot, isn't he kind of in the contemplative life?
I'm not sure exactly what the state of their community is. I know he used to, I've heard he's become more contemplative is what I've heard.
Yeah,
because he used to travel and give concerts and all of that, but I think he's pulled back on a lot of that now to focus on prayer and spirituality. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And we're doing a show coming up on Are You Being Called to Be a Contemplative? That's going to be an interesting show. That was suggested by our listener, Marianne. Please join us today at 833-288-3986.
Father Benedict Rochelle.
I must tell you that from what I observe from very young people, all of these blasphemers, all of these mockers are in for a tough time, because the devil bites his own tail. And I find among young people a growing reverence and longing for God. I find a decline in the cynicism and skepticism around, because it had to destroy itself. No one can live on being an enemy of God. It's too crazy, it's too absurd, it's too dark, it's too bleak. God is beautiful, God is holy. Why in the world mock God?
The people you know and trust are on EWTN.
Take Two with Jerry and Debbie is on YouTube. Search YouTube to find the EWTN YouTube channel so you'll never miss an episode of our show or any of your favorite EWTN radio shows.
Now, today's quote from Mother Angelica's perpetual calendar. Love is our goal. To love Jesus, to love the Blessed Sacrament, and to make reparation for the sins of the world. Mother Angelica's perpetual calendar features an inspirational message for each day of the year. It's available from the EWTN Religious Catalog at EWTNRC.com. That's EWTNRC.com.
Hi, this is Janet Williams. We embrace the essence of feminine spirituality on Women of Grace tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern here on EWTN Radio. Now, back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
It is great to have you with us on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you. It's your show. We have a line open for you at 833-288-3986. How do you get into and live and manifest the spirit of your Catholic faith throughout the entire year? Liturgical seasons, the colors. Do you wear the colors to Mass? Like on great solemnities like Pentecost, do you wear red when you go to church? Do you have in your home, does it look like the season of the church that we're in right now? Just to keep us all focused, our faith is 24/7, and we want to live and breathe and sleep and eat and drink our faith as much as we possibly can. So how do you do that? 833-288-3986. We'll go to Joanne in Milwaukee listening on Sirius XM 130. Hello, Joanne. Thanks for waiting. Welcome.
Hi. I'd like to share something about people putting signs in their front yards. You see a lot of sports flags up by people's houses for various teams. At Christmas time, we put up the Knights of Columbus sign that said, "Keep Christ in Christmas." And recently, we saw a large sign in someone's yard that said, "June is Sacred Heart Month," and I just thought that was really great. So I'm actually on the road, so I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
Okay, Joanne. Way to go. June is Sacred Heart Month. And, of course, Debbie, the world knows June nowadays as quote-unquote Pride Month. But we as Catholic Christians, we were way ahead of the game, if you will. We've had days and weeks and novenas and seasons and months dedicated to Our Lady and to the Sacred Heart. So I think it's absolutely beautiful what they do is put up those flags.
Well, I have to just share something. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As you were speaking, I was typing over to Jerry, it's everywhere where I live. There are flags everywhere, every sports team, everything you can imagine. And it looks like it just looks like a festival all the time. And I thought, as soon as Joanne said that, June is Sacred Heart Month, I am determined to get that particular message up on my home next June, because you know why, Jerry? You know where I'm going with this. You know how I love the Twin Hearts. And this is going to be a conversation starter, because people are going to knock on my door and say, what is the Sacred Heart? And then it's going to give me an open door to talk about the Sacred Heart of Jesus. I love it. Joanne, you just made my day. What do you think?
I think that's absolutely great. Yeah, she made my day too. And I have no doubt. See, what happens on this show, Take Two Family, is what you share. Other people adopt the good ideas and the wisdom and the insights that you share. So I hope and pray that people will take away from Joanne's call to get something, a Sacred Heart Month flag, or put a statue of the Sacred Heart of Jesus in your yard. I've got a statue of the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the Immaculate Heart of Mary and St. Francis and the Holy Family in my yard.
You do? You do?
Yeah.
How big are your statues?
Sacred Heart of Jesus and the Immaculate Heart of Mary are probably about 2.5 feet high, 2.5 feet tall.
Wow, those are big statues. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
The Holy Family one, it's only about maybe 12, 14 inches tall, but it weighs like 100 pounds. You can't even pick it up. It's just cement.
Well, that would be perfect out here because we get the monsoons and have heavy winds, so then it won't blow over, right?
Right,
there you
exactly.
go. Okay, there's still plenty of time for you to call in. Do you get into the spirit, or maybe you want to ask questions about it, or maybe you have this particular broadcast has prompted you to start making a change. Okay, tell us. We want to know. I love what Joanne said. I am totally in for next June. Now it's a little bit, we're at the end of June, so it's probably going to be a little bit too late for me to go out and try to get a sign or something like that, or a statue for this June. But I'm starting for next June. Let's hear what Veronica has to say in Albany, New York, listening on Pax et Bonum Radio. Did I say that correct, Jerry?
You did brilliantly.
I got so nervous. I was so nervous. Hi, Veronica.
Hi. You guys should know this because you've been out here for a pilgrimage, and we loved having you, Jerry and Debbie.
Thank you
for coming. Thank you for coming, because it was the Sacred Heart was part of the pilgrimage. You may remember.
That's right.
We're
That's right.
In New York State, right over the state line from Massachusetts. And that's where I believed we ended the pilgrimage, because we started here in Albany at one of the Catholic churches, beautiful, holy, beautiful St. Mary's. In this part of the country, I love that there's so much history. Just amazing.
You're blessed.
And then we went to Voorheesville. We went to Voorheesville for all of that. But the point I'm calling, it all started when I heard you talking about the woman who does the mental health counseling, and that you use a journal. Give kids particularly, I can, tell them use a journal or any kind of paper. You don't need a book. You just need a piece of paper and something to write with or draw with. And I myself am a licensed mental health counselor. So there's so many kids I'll see. And I'll not only see them tomorrow, I'll do this today. Excuse me, it's just noontime. I'll do this right away. I'm just so thankful for the other callers that call in. They give me so much to think about. Also, this Sacred Heart Month. We're going to do something with WOPG 1460 AM at the county fairs here in the Capital Region in New York State. And I'm sure, I would hope right now, Tom and Laura, the owners, who we're going to do some things with, would hear this about. Make sure I tell them. We'll see what month it is, what month and so we can note that too. So Sacred Heart Month. Oh, this is great timing. I'm so glad I called. So thank you. And I want to ask for prayers if I could.
Sure.
Wonderful. My mother, Edna Mae Nass McGinn, is in her 90s. And in my life, she's always been a devout Catholic. And she lives by herself in our home, our old home, her home, our family home. And she's doing great. but she is remembering some things when she was a child, and how much nicer that than the Catholic Knights of Columbus were than, what was it? Her uncles were Masons. Masonic Lodge was so helpful when her father died. So much better than the Knights of Columbus. They were a problem. So now she's kind of anti-Catholic, pro-Masons. I don't know. So we need prayers. The whole family needs prayers. Health. I myself am an MS, retired disability, also school guidance counselor. So I have such a love to be with the kids, and so looking forward to sharing all these wonderful things that the other listeners call in about. Just taking notes all the time. I had to pull over. You could ask Matthew. I had to say, hold on, there's a cop up here. I said, I'll pull over and get into an empty parking lot, and we'll just let him go. So we did. He's gone. Thank you, officer. And they're so busy out on these streets, these first responders. There's another thing, if we could say a prayer for all our first responders. Anyway, where I am here on the East Coast, it's noontime. So it's a busier than ever day. And it's raining a little bit, which means more accidents. And we all being, I know you two do, and probably most of the listeners do also, but let's keep those first responders in our prayers. And not only at noontime today in the capital region of New York State, but everywhere. Just so thrilled to have gotten through. I was telling Matthew, I've called many times and held, and then anyway, I'm just so glad the timing was what it was, and over, and that would have been a whole different problem.
Yeah, don't want that to happen, Veronica. Thanks for going the safe and legal route with your phone call. And you've said so many things, and one of them, I think you kind of drove home the point that we try to make on the show. I tried to make a few minutes ago, and that is, this really is a peer-to-peer program. We call it that. It's the Take Two family, and you yourself said that you have gained insights and things that you can do and share with your clients by listening to some of the other callers. And we're going to pray for your dear, dear mother, Edna May. Absolutely pray for her. Going to the Knights of Columbus and the Masonic issue, I'm very, very sorry. As a fourth-degree Knight, I've been a Knight for almost 40 years. Debbie's husband, Marty, is a fourth-degree Knight of Columbus. If your mother had a bad experience with them, shame on those Knights. And I don't know what happened. I don't know any of the details, so I'm not going to comment beyond that. But the Knights of Columbus, in my experience and my involvement, are one of the finest organizations on the face of the earth and in the church. And just a quick note about, the Masons, they do a lot of really, really wonderful things. They have Shriners hospitals, and they do a lot of great, work to help people in their communities and so forth. But the church is very, very clear, and I don't think enough Catholics know this, that the church has actually forbidden membership in the Masons simply because of the belief system of the Masons, the Masonic. I'm not going to call it a faith. I guess it is sort of a faith, but and I can't comment a whole lot on that because I haven't studied up on it a lot. I just do know that the church has said Catholic men are not permitted to be involved in the Masons, and so. Why wouldn't a Catholic man belong to the Knights of Columbus? Debbie, I think that's my thought on that. If you want to be involved in a service organization, the Knights are great.
Well, the Knights do a great job, and they do it the right way. And you brought up the Shriners hospitals. The interesting thing about the Freemasons is that they do put out to the public a very wonderful outreach and ministry, and that's a way to shield some of the beliefs that are taking place behind the scenes. So we have to be very careful. That's why it's important as Catholic Christians, we research everything, we go deeper, we follow the precepts of that particular organization, we follow the money, we follow everything to make sure we are putting our time, our effort, and our money in a direction that we want to make sure it's solid and it's of God. Veronica, thank you so much. And I just have to say, Veronica, thank you for the kind words. Jerry and I have been praying about coming back to New York. And we want to so badly, but travel is a little bit unstable right now. We miss the pilgrimage. The pilgrimage is so very, very much in the retreat. So please pray that we can get this all worked out in the world and in the country with all this travel and everything that's happening and the gas prices and everything, so that we can get back to really being with each other face to face. Okay? Would you pray for that, because we're getting a lot of requests.
Yes, certainly.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Awesome.
And Jerry, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, somebody correct me if we have clergy listening here, I believe it's actually forbidden as a Catholic to be a Freemason.
Yeah, I believe I said that. Maybe I didn't.
Oh, okay. If you didn't, I just want to make sure it's forbidden. It's a real issue. Joanne was holding from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Joanne, if you call back, Matthew, I'm calling him Matthew now. Matt Gabinski is holding the line open for you because you had something to share about flags for June. We want to hear about it because, Jerry, I want to share something with all of our listeners that is kind of interesting how this show has morphed into flags and banners and all sorts of things. So I'll share that in a moment if you would like to share with our listeners another great program.
Well, the Sunrise Morning Show, if you're up early, Anna Mitchell and Matt Swaim are your hosts, and they are outstanding. I have always admired the Sunrise Morning Show because it's a show that really moves. It's got a great pace. They have different segments, different interviews, different features every day, and news and interviews from a Catholic perspective. On Friday, tomorrow, to celebrate the solemnity of the Most Sacred Heart of Jesus, they'll be talking to Christendom College President Dr. Timothy O'Donnell, author of Heart of the Redeemer, about the unique compassion of Jesus. They'll also preview the readings for Mass on Sunday with Father Hezekiah Camazzo and Father Jonathan Duncan and Father Robert Nixon on Thomas à Kempis's prayer for true and tearful contrition for sins. That's the Sunrise Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on EWTN Radio.
Okay, I mixed up callers, so please forgive me. Joanne did call in and got on air with us from Milwaukee, and she talked about the June being the Sacred Heart Month, and that's why we're going to hopefully all of us start hanging banners and flags of the Sacred Heart. So Joanne got on. I was referring to, we're holding the line open for Gretchen. Gretchen in South Dakota. Gretchen, you had something to say about an Advent flag. So I wanted to, Gretchen, we have that line open for you. If you want to call back quickly, we'll get you on air with us. There's plenty of time, but I want to transition to something I wanted to share, and I'm really not prepared to share this because I didn't prepare. So forgive me for the fine listener who this relates to. If I don't say it correctly, I can correct it tomorrow on Unscripted, which I'm pretty excited about.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But did you want to do a shout out first?
Well, I do. We always love to give kudos to our affiliates who carry EWTN programming, and we want to congratulate our great partner, Veritas Catholic Radio in Norwalk, Connecticut, on their 3rd anniversary this week. They can be heard on 1350 AM and 103.9 FM. Congratulations to Steve Lee and his team at Veritas Catholic Radio, now celebrating 3 years with EWTN Radio.
Way to go, Veritas. We love you guys. We have helped out and assisted on some of your pledge drives. We're super excited. 3 years, that's fabulous. Steve and the team, you're right, Jerry, do a great job. I'm looking forward. I think this fall I may be doing Veritas's Share-a-thon this fall, so I'm excited about that. So
great.
Lots of great programs. Okay, so real quickly, I wanted to share this, Jerry, and this is probably the first time I've ever shared it with you, so I'm kind of going to ask you about it. This conversation, this discussion has kind of turned into flags, okay, and talking about flags and banners. And there is a person who is very near and dear to my heart. I won't mention his name because, like I said, I wasn't prepared to talk about this. That's why I got confused with Joanne and Gretchen. But now Gretchen's calling back. We're getting her back on the line. This is awesome. But Jerry, this he used to be in the military. Okay, he's since retired from the military, and he has produced the most beautiful banner that shows the covenant with our God, with the rainbow. And he shares this banner with anyone who is willing to listen to his explanation, and he also presents the banner at different places, and he takes a knee to the ground because he is restoring the covenant. He is reminding us of the covenant, and that rainbow represents that, and it's really quite powerful. And there's been a lot of folks that are very intrigued by it, especially folks that aren't Catholic. It's interesting. So what do you think of that he displays this covenant rainbow flag to remind us all what the rainbow really is, what the rainbow should be, what it should represent, and back to the covenant, the word he kept using in all the times that he has shared it, or he has even told me about it, is covenant.
Yeah, well, we know that is the primary symbol of the LGBTQ plus community, and they certainly have every right to use that. But you're right; it really was the rainbow was put in the sky. We read in the book of Genesis, after the flood, God put the bow in the sky. It's called the rainbow, the different colors, as a promise. He said, "This is a promise that I will never again destroy the earth by a flood." And so God did make a covenant with mankind, his creation, and he has never allowed that to happen since then. And you're right, it is a symbol of our sonship and daughterhood of God, and the fact that he created us and that he loves us and that he is going to be protecting us. So it's a beautiful symbol. I love to see rainbows in the sky because my mind always goes back to that. And I say, thank you, Jesus, for that beautiful rainbow. And thank you, Heavenly Father, for your covenant with the people that you created.
The covenant. I'll send you an image of the flags. You will. He's a graphics artist, so he did a beautiful job on it. But it's really makes a statement, and it has the correct colors of the rainbow as well. So there's all different elements of it. So anyway, we're excited. We got Gretchen back from South Dakota, Sirius XM 130. Gretchen, this is our Matt Gabinski that holds the line open just for you.
Just for me. What a treasure. Okay,
Welcome.
What I had called about was I made an Advent flag years and years ago that we put out, obviously, in the front of our home, and it stays up till Christmas Eve. And I try to keep my husband from over-decorating much before, but it goes up with the Christmas decorations, basically, other than a little bit before. And then we also have an Easter flag that I leave out until Pentecost. And it's been real educational for the neighbors because they wonder why we still have our Easter flag out. And, we tell them we celebrate Easter through Pentecost. And so it's been real educational for a lot of people. And it's just a symbol of who we are as Catholic Christians that we display that on the front of our home.
That you are making a fantastic point, one that is so very important here, Gretchen, I think. And Debbie, you'll understand and appreciate this like Gretchen does, and that is talk about the neighbors, people who pass by your house, maybe people you work with. If you wear certain religious things, clothes, colors, et cetera, to work. Even, for example, the world, just using Christmas as an example. At right around noon on Christmas, after the gifts have been, devoured and the paper all thrown away and nobody's ever going to see those Christmas gifts again, it's over for the secular world. Christmas has just begun for us. And if we continue to live that season, and like you said, Gretchen, Easter goes through Pentecost, and this is undoubtedly going to raise questions on the part of people who may not be Catholic, may not share our understanding of why we do these things. Great evangelization moments, Debbie, I believe, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I was going to say the same thing. And I feel that way, Gretchen, when next June, when I hang the Sacred Heart flag, I just want it to be a conversation starter. So I have an opportunity to share so people can, learn and grow. Because sometimes people aren't reaching out to really understand things better. And this is a great way to do it. Gretchen, thank you so much for calling back. We really appreciate it. Anything else?
Yeah, a couple things. I was at a retreat a few weeks ago, and a woman brought up, and you've probably seen it, but it was like something like a meme, and it said something about, I'm an atheist. Did you hate me enough that you wouldn't tell me about your God?
And
wow. That was, for this woman, it was very convicting. And so it's interesting what you talk about the neighbors, because we had lived in Iowa for a long time, and our neighbors would ask, okay, so when are you going to turn on the lights on your house during Advent? And at that time, we could hold it off till about the third week. And anyway, and then they'd wonder when we were going to turn them back off, because we left them on until Epiphany or till the baptism. So, you're right. It is. And just the way we present ourselves, I have a ring that is almost like a worry stone. It's really smooth, and it's got a cross in it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at that cross, it's also a T for trust. And so that's been a real blessing to me and to other people when they see my ring and I talk about that.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So
Gretchen.
now I have an arrow ring that goes with it that points to the cross. And so it's, it's just those symbols, and people see that and they ask you about it. So we've got to be witnesses, especially in this world.
Praise God. Can you repeat what that atheist had on that shirt again, please?
It was something to the effect of, it was an atheist comment that said, "I'm an atheist. Do you hate me that much that you never told me about your God?"
Wow. That's convicting for all of us, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gretchen, again, thank you for calling back. We so appreciate the call today. This has really helped us.
John, thanks for letting me on. It's fun.
You're very welcome.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
God bless.
Thank you. All
God
righty,
bless you.
bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our friend Ron in LA is listening. So first, I want to just say, Ron, I don't know if you heard our God, I Need You Now show, but Michelle called in from Minnesota, and her son, Ron, needs really strong prayers. So I attached her son, Ron, to you, Ron, in LA. So please be praying for Ron and to break all the extreme addiction and the lack of faith. Ron also said, regarding the Masons, early 1900s, they had a papal ban because of anti-Catholic attitudes. Not strongly spoken lately, but the ban is still in effect, along with the Freemasonry practices. So the ban is still in effect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you, Catholic Church.
Yeah, and our call screener, Matt, just sent this over here. He says, get a bumper sticker for your local Catholic radio station. We've heard how many times these have worked miracles, literally. Matt says, I heard a pledge drive, and 2 women, each was on the way to take their own lives, but got caught in traffic. The car ahead of them had the bumper sticker, and they said, why not? They later even converted. So as you'd like to say, Debbie, a 10-cent bumper sticker can save a life and a soul.
That's right. And we actually met some folks that a 10-cent bumper sticker saved their marriage, and they went on to have more children. Every time I think of that couple, Jerry, you know the couple I'm talking about from California, and they were headed to a complete divorce. They were going to end everything, and a 10-cent bumper sticker saved their marriage, and they went on to have some more beautiful children.
Tomorrow is the feast of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. This whole month of June dedicated to his Sacred Heart. And we will talk a lot about that and whatever else you want to talk about, because it's our monthly unscripted show tomorrow on Take 2 with Jerry and Debbie and you.
It's a very popular show, so please call in early. Don't wait till the last minute, and we will have a great discussion on anything that's on your heart, on your mind, whatever you want to talk about. You can even revisit past shows. Until tomorrow, have a beautiful and blessed day. We ask St. Joseph, please pray for all of us.